Welcome, everybody, to the Neutral Zone Infraction Northwest podcast. I'm Drew, and we are going to talk about some sports today. What a second half. What a second half we had in that game against the Colts on Sunday. We balled really hard in that second half. I might even go as far to say as we could not have balled any harder than we balled. It was awesome. It was great to see. It was a great change of pace. It's like a weight was lifted off my shoulders in that moment. Everyone on the East Coast who went to bed at halftime was like thinking that the Seahawks were garbage. And, well, we sure proved them wrong. What an attitude adjuster. I really want to know what Pete Carroll did in that locker room. Whether he said nothing or whether he, was the constant optimist, which I'm sure is what he did. I really don't know. But whatever it was, something happened, and it was great. I'm really excited about the trajectory of this football team here. When you have a game like that, where you start the game off as like a Cessna, and then when the game's over and all things are said and done, you land as an F-22 Raptor. You're just a clean, mean, fighting machine. That can really do a lot for your confidence. And we're gonna need a lot of confidence going right into the teeth of where we have to go next. But we'll get there. First, as always, we got to start off the show with love, not so much love, Seahawks of the week. All right, vegetables first. Not so much love, Seahawk of the week, Germain Ifedi. Germain Ifedi. Dude was a first-round draft pick. Looking around the league at a lot of other first-round draft pick offensive linemen, there sure are a lot of good offensive linemen who were drafted in the first round. Eventually, Jermaine is going to have to pick up a block or two. That'd be excellent. I understand that with our offensive line, we're all about the upside for a lot of these guys, but we're a quarter of the way through year 2 for this guy. I'm ready for it to click. Everyone says, okay, you're a rookie mistakes, but in year 2, the game starts to slow down a little bit for you. I don't want to have to go through the same song and dance that we've gone through with our last high pick tackles where maybe he's not a tackle. Maybe he's a guard. Well, originally, Ifedi was supposed to be a left tackle. Now he's on the right side. Who needs a right tackle? Apparently we do. Ugh. Anyways, I believe in you, buddy. Jermaine, you got this. You got this. We're on a good trajectory. But let's talk about the great. My love Seahawk of the week. Now, here's a guy. Yeah, I just went full Chris Collinsworth there. Talk about a guy who comes in and is just a lightning rod of electricity for your football team. J.D. McKissick. Every time he touched the ball, something sweet happened. That's the kind of guy, a hungry guy, a young, hungry guy who is fighting for his playing time, comes in and he's just in the end zone twice. Good for you. Good for you, J.D. McKissick. And it was so funny on the broadcast. Al Michaels is like, and here goes Eddie Lacy. And the entirety of America was like, oh, Al, honey, Eddie Lacy doesn't move that fast. At least that's what I was thinking. But my boy Eddie did some good stuff too. But J.D. McKissick, I want to see more of him with the ball in his hands because when that happens, just looking at the track record, there might be some scoring. I love scoring. I love blowing the doors off of being 4 scores ahead of the Colts in the fourth quarter. Whew. That is great. But speaking of running backs and good running backs, Chris Carson on the injured reserve. I've heard mixed reports, as I'm sure you guys have too. I've heard 8 weeks. I've heard 12 weeks. I've heard out for the season. So my guess would probably be it'll be a 12-weekish injury, which will get him back just in time for our first round bye Yeah, I hope. Back in time for the playoffs, which at that point, here's my prediction. Because my boy Eddie Lacy, he looked pretty good. He didn't look fast, but he looked pretty good. He had some good runs. He had some tough runs trying to get us away from that safety that we eventually got into anyway. And I think that as our offensive line progresses, so too does Eddie Lacy. And with that, I like Eddie Lacy. He can, when he's moving, he's tough to tackle. He's just got to get moving. And I think he can. I think he showed that he can in this game. Great win. Fun, exciting weekend all around the NFL. Let me tell you what, real quick, just beyond the Seahawks. I don't know who's good in the NFL right now. I have no idea. All these games are so weird. Who's winning? Who shows up to play any given day? There's a whole lot of parity in the NFL right now, which makes it a lot of fun. And it's also like really confusing. The Pats, the Seahawks, the Jets, the Jaguars, and the Cowboys are all 2-2. Now, one of these teams in the Jets was one that a lot of people said, oh, they're an 0-16 team. Well, apparently not. Apparently they're just as good as the Patriots and the Seahawks. I don't think that, but it's really hard to tell who's good. And that's sort of my next point. We go to the Rams this week. We go play the Rams in the Coliseum. And let me tell you what, that Rams team, they are looking not too darn shabby on offense. I think a lot of that has to do with Sean McVay. I think he came in there. I think he's a wicked smart guy. And I think he went in there and changed the culture around, flip-flopped it. I don't know if he hypnotized Jared Goff or sung lullabies to him, gives him a back massage every night. But something's different about Jared Goff from last year, too. I don't like any of it. Sean McVay, get out of here. And I don't think he's gonna. I think he's gonna stay. And I think the Rams are good. That's just not good for me. It's not good for any of you. There's something. We got to do something. And I think that this game's a big test. It's time for the big boy defense to show up. Big boy defense shows up against the Rams. And I think that with our offense chewing up, getting points like we know they can, I think that we can win. If the offense starts slow, like they have every single week so far, we will lose. I'm sorry. It's true. The Rams have not scored less than 27 points this year. And they've averaging over 30. So buckle up, kids. They haven't played a defense quite like ours. That's to be fair. But I think that we have to score 28 points to win. Totally doable. 100% doable. Because the Rams defense isn't what it once was either. Sean McVay clearly is like, I was an offensive coordinator. Now I'm the head coach. I was even watching a game of theirs where he wasn't even like paying attention when the defense was going. He's just like, Wade Phillips, do your thing. And that dude is ancient. But still pretty smart. Anyways, I'm slightly off track here. I'm off my rails. Here I go. Choo-choo. My point. If we start slow on offense, there's not going to be enough time for us to catch up. But we're not built to catch up. We're built to possess the ball and play great defense and score along the way. I believe that we can do it. I believe that we can win this game. But offense has to come out ready to go. Have a plan. Here's our plan. We're going to go in here and we're going to do this thing. And stick to the plan. You got a plan. If it doesn't work, after you've given it the good old college try, The try. You got to try to run the ball and then establish the run so you can use play action. Darrell Bevell, not just come out and do play action. Then, if you do that and it doesn't work, then you make your adjustments, and then Russell Wilson comes in and does his thing. And I've heard a lot of, well, Russell Wilson does way better in hurry-up, so we should just hurry up all the time. Well, then your defense gets tired, and then somebody puts a 40-burger on you, which is a possibility of a thing that may happen in Los Angeles. And we don't want that either. So I think a good balance, possess the ball, keep it out of their offense's hands, and the way you beat the Rams is the way we've always beaten the Rams and lost to the Rams. And that is a good old-fashioned, down-home, rootin' tootin' in the mud slugfest. We got to slug them. We got to out-physical them. We have to send their prissy California quarterback to the shadow realm. We have got to sack him 4 times, minimum. Got to get some pressure. And that's how we can win. If we rattle him, if we're picking him off, if we're beating him up, that is how we win. I think it's a pretty good strategy. I came up with it myself. So, yeah, they should just leave my number here for Pete Carroll. Does he listen? I think I asked that once before, and the answer's probably no. And that's okay. That is okay. But honestly, guys, I'm worried about this game. And if we're going to have even a hint of a chance of the whiff of a possible first round bye, going into the playoffs, home field advantage, which is how we get to a Super Bowl. It's a tried and true strategy. It's what we do. If we want that, then we have to go 3-2 and not 2-3. Huge difference between 3-2 and 2-3. And we need to get there. Go into the bye strong, come out of it even stronger. Let's go. Okay, so that's all I have on this week. But before I go, I'm going to do the impossible task of picking games for this week. Seriously, last week, Patriots, Falcons, Cowboys all lose at home. Who's to think that? Not this guy, clearly. So I went 10-6 last week, so not terrible. Overall, I am 41-22. Again, not terrible considering the craziness that is happening all around us. 2-2 Jets? Are you kidding me? Get out of here, Jets. Don't you want a quarterback in the draft? Start losing. Okay, here is going to win. Here is who is going to... This same thing happened to me last week, and I didn't edit it out then, and I'm not going to edit it out now. Here's who's going to win this week. Patriots, Colts, Browns, Steelers, Giants, finally, Bills, Lions, Dolphins, Eagles, Ravens, Hawks, please for the love, Packers, Chiefs, and Vikings. That's all I have for you guys this week. I hope you enjoyed the show. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Tell your friends, do all that stuff that you would do to a video that you're watching. Hey, this was kind of cool. Maybe tell your friends. Maybe not. Whatever, it's up to you. Either way, I hope you have a great week. And remember to keep on balling.